Thanks, Chad. You know, when you think about riding in the middle of the desert, you don't typically think about large quantities of water, but that is exactly what you're going to find out here at the Mudflats. For thousands of years, the dense clay of the salt flats has forced water to accumulate on the surface, unable to soak into the ground. Vast pools are left behind, creating a slopping world of sticky mud and acrid ponds that turn any riding excursion into a very unique experience. This time of year, however, the temperatures rarely get above freezing, which means even the high salt content of the water can't keep it from turning into slabs of ice. So if you've ever wanted to figure skate with your side-by-side, this is the environment for you.
It was kind of cool because we tried to stay out of the mud, but when we realized that it was frozen, we kind of played on the ice until we fell through. It was kind of cool, actually.
Oh, I think that was awesome. I've never actually had quite that opportunity to do that. So I come out here during the winter, and usually I'm on the dirt bike, and we stay over here in the sand. But that was a cool experience because I was expecting a splash, but we go through it and it's just big old ice puddle. Until we went through it a few times and it started breaking through. It would kind of feel like hydroplaning or driving in the snow, really, is what it felt like. So the first time it was kind of uneasy, but after that I was able to let go and just have fun with it. But it was really fun and kind of a new riding experience that I got to endure today.
It's kind of nice to get out as a dirt biker, especially. Some traction is nice, and when it's real sandy over here, get over there and get a little bit of moisture in the dirt around them ponds. You can lay it over and have some good traction. It's a lot of fun out there.
David STEADMAN and his son Brandon have been exploring the lands along I-80 for decades. They've hit lonely mountaintops and flats that disappear past the horizon. But the conditions today are something even these two experienced travelers have never seen. The ground has thawed enough to soften, but the water is still frozen solid. So you have an interesting mixture of mud and ice. Most of the time we avoid mud on the trail for fear of leaving behind ruts. But out here, those ruts actually become a defining feature of mudflats, forming natural racetracks that give some additional texture to the featureless expanse.
There's little corner tracks all over out here. I found one today that I had no idea was there. As much time as I've been out here, I never knew that was goofed off on it for a little bit. Just to be out here, fresh air. There's nobody here today at all. We haven't even heard another motor, so you know, it's just great to be out in nature, no matter where you're at.
In the summer when you get a ton of people out here, it breaks up the people. You don't have to deal with everyone just in one spot. But what I like about it is when I come out with my buddies and friends, when we get sick of the dunes over here, we'll go hit the trail lines that way, and then if we get sick of those too, we'll just go out to the flats. And there's pretty much every kind of riding you can find out here. Trail riding, sand, anything really.
Now remember, Knolls is a fee area, so come prepared, but there are bathrooms and plenty of areas to camp, so don't be afraid to take a couple of days to explore. You won't run out of riding opportunities. The dunes are fun, the rocky trails enjoyable, but for something completely new, you'll need to look east once arriving at Knolls, especially this time of year. The ice and mud make for a memorable day, and you never know what you'll discover when you point your machine towards the distant hills.
Once you're introduced to the motor world behind bars, the handlebars, you can't give it up. Once you experience that thrill, you crave it.
I tell my customers all the time, you have something like this, it gives you an excuse to go out and do. Wherever, we got it any direction from where we live. You just go do it. Get out here and try it. You know, go to the east side a little bit, you know. There's lots of trails open, whatever you want to do, flats. Yeah, it reminded me a lot of out below Grantsville when we used to ride when we were kids, you know. Flats and then sagebrush, flats and sagebrush. It's cool, because it gets too wet, you just stay up on the sagebrush a little bit higher. But you always get that wet dirt traction. Good fun stuff.
Want to take a moment to thank STEADMAN's for taking me out to this area. It's a great place to ride with lots of options. Out to the west, you've got the Knolls and the dunes, and right here, all of the mud that you could go riding in to your heart's content. Well, I'm CIPRIANO. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to have more at Release.